You ever notice how overthinking is basically your brain auditioning for every role in a crime drama about a crime that hasn't even happened yet? You're the detective pacing around looking for clues. You're the suspect sweating under the spotlight. You're the victim lying on the floor dramatically. And somehow you're also the murderer. You're doing all the parts. And the twist ending? Nobody's even watching the show. There's no audience, just you, stuck in your head, playing this endless rerun for free. And here's the messed up part. It feels like you're doing something useful. It feels like work. It feels like you're getting ready. But overthinking is just mental cosplay. You've got the outfit, the props, the whole set built in your head. But you're spinning the steering wheel of a parked car, looking out the window like, any minute now. And then you see those people, you know the ones, who take the exact same mess you've been drowning in, and somehow, in minutes, they're sketching out a plan like they've been prepping for it their whole lives. They don't have extra IQ points. They're not drinking secret billionaire coffee. They don't wake up at 4 a.m. chanting Navy SEAL mantras in the mirror. They just know one skill you don't: how to drag their thoughts out of the clouds and slam them down to the ground so hard, gravity finally does its job. Once your ideas have weight, they stop floating away every time you second guess yourself. And when you can do that, when you can grab the chaos in your head and turn it into something so concrete you could hand it to someone else, that's dangerous. That's when you stop living in what if and start living in what's next. That's when you go from waiting for the perfect moment to making any moment work. Let me prove it to you with a story that sounds fake but isn't. Back in 2004, NASA, yes, actual NASA with actual rocket scientists, put out a challenge: $10,000 to anyone who could design better gloves for astronauts. Now, you have to understand, NASA had been wrestling with this for decades. These are the people who put humans on the moon, but astronaut gloves? They were the kryptonite of space travel. The gloves needed to be flexible, airtight, and able to withstand brutal conditions. The engineers had entire teams, massive budgets, prototypes lined up like car showrooms, and still they weren't happy with what they had. Enter Peter Homer, a scuba diver from Maine. No degree in aerospace, no history in engineering, no fancy lab. This guy's workspace was a living room that probably smelled like wet neoprene. He hears about the contest and does something so stupidly simple that it almost feels like cheating. He doesn't try to revolutionize astronaut glove technology. He doesn't try to solve every problem in the glove. He picks one tiny battle, making one finger bend without breaking the material. That's it, one finger. While NASA's teams were sketching out theoretical glove systems with 3D models and CAD designs, Peter was literally cutting, stitching, bending, testing, rinse and repeat on his coffee table. Piece by piece, he gets that finger right. Once it bends perfectly, he scales the same solution across the rest of the glove. He sends it in, and he beats NASA at their own game. Not because he was smarter, not because he had insider knowledge, because he didn't try to win the whole war on day one. He picked the smallest battle that mattered and crushed it. NASA was stuck in cloud mode, thinking about the perfect glove for all space travel. Peter was in ground mode, solving one single movement in one single finger. And that's why he walked away with the prize. That's the formula. Overthinking happens when the battlefield in your head is the size of the universe. You're trying to fight on a million fronts: past, future, possible futures, imaginary disasters, and wondering why you keep losing. Clarity? Clarity is when you shrink that battlefield until it's so small you could actually win today. That's the difference between a war you never finish and a fight you can actually knock out before lunch. Psychologists even have a name for why this works: the Zeigarnik effect. Fancy term, simple meaning: your brain clings to unfinished tasks like cling wrap on leftovers. It doesn't let go. It just sits there, sticky and annoying, holding onto the what if until you deal with it. And the vaguer the problem, the longer your brain keeps reopening it. It's like a bad group chat that never dies. You mute it, you archive it, and somehow it still pops back up with, "Hey, quick question," at 2 a.m. That's why you feel stuck. You're walking around with 27 mental tabs open, half of them frozen, the rest playing loud auto ads you can't find. None of them are finished, but they're all draining your battery. And no, you can't just Close all tabs in your head and start fresh. That's not how brains work. But the second you give your brain a clear, visible finish line, something you can literally check off today, the noise starts to fade. It's like finally shutting the lid on a container that's been sitting open in the fridge for 3 weeks. Your brain goes, oh, okay, we can put this away now. Here's the simplest way to get there. And yeah, it's so simple you'll want to roll your eyes, but it's a sledgehammer to overthinking. Step 1. Dump every single thought about the problem onto paper. Don't edit, don't organize, don't worry if it looks like the diary of a sleep-deprived raccoon. Just puke it out. Step 2. Look at that mess and underline anything you could do in under an hour. Step 3. Pick the easiest one and do it right now. Why? Because action starves fear. Fear can only survive in the future in what if. Action drags you into the present. Where fear can't breathe, it's like yanking a vampire out into the sun. It doesn't matter how scary it looked in the dark. In daylight, it just burns up. You literally cannot be in motion and in paralysis at the same time. Your brain has to pick one operating system, forward or frozen. And the moment you choose forward, you break the loop. Leonardo da Vinci, yeah, the Mona Lisa guy, was a legendary procrastinator. People think he was some unstoppable creative machine, but the truth? He was the king of, I'll get to it. He started dozens of projects, sketched ideas for inventions that never left the page, and abandoned paintings for years. He'd disappear for months, chasing some random idea about bird wings or water flow. The man was basically the 1400s version of having 46 browser tabs open, all labeled important. But here's the part that made him dangerous. When he finally decided to focus, he didn't try to finish the entire masterpiece. He zoomed in on one microscopic detail, the way light curved around a cheekbone, the precise softness of a shadow. He would vanish into that tiny corner of the work until it was perfect. He didn't wake up saying, today I will paint the Mona Lisa. He woke up saying, today I'll finish this brushstroke. Then tomorrow the next. Then the next. That's how genius works. Not in giant leaps, but in a series of microscopic wins, stacked on the top of each other until they look like magic from the outside. Everyone else just sees the finished painting. They don't see the hundreds of obsessive, boring, invisible steps that built it. And here's the thing nobody tells you. Clarity isn't a feeling you wait for before you act. Clarity is something you earn while acting. Most people sit around like they're waiting for the clouds to part and a beam of divine light to shine down with the perfect answer. That's not how this works. Certainty is not your boarding pass. It's the prize you get after the trip. Look at Elon Musk. Whatever you think of him, he doesn't sit around waiting until a rocket is flawless. He launches it. If it blows up, he takes the data, fixes the problem, and sends up another one. Even when the launch is a fiery disaster, he's still ahead of the guy who's been thinking about it for a decade. Because every mistake you make while moving forward is a piece of real-world information that overthinking will never give you. So yeah, drop one word in the comments that describes how this is hitting you right now. Seriously, I want to see it. And if that word is confused, then congratulations. You've just diagnosed yourself with stage 4 cloud mode. The truth is, overthinking is just fear in a tuxedo. Looks sharp, sounds smart, and walks into the room with confidence, but underneath it's still fear. A clear plan? That's courage in pajamas. No glamour, no drama, just let's get this done. We overthink because we want to protect our ego, protect it from looking stupid, from wasting time, from failing in public. But here's the plot twist. Overthinking is wasting time. It's just dressed up to look responsible, so you can lie to yourself about being prepared. You're not defusing a bomb. You're not performing brain surgery on Rihanna. You can afford to just try. And when you shrink your focus down to something so specific, so embarrassingly small you can actually finish it today, your brain runs out of excuses. There's no place for it to hide. You've trapped it in a corner where the only way out is forward. And if you're building the version of you who doesn't run from truth, yeah, hit subscribe. You're going to need this, but let me leave you with this. Life isn't a chess game you can win in your head. It's speed chess in a crowded cafe The clock is ticking, and the board changes every few moves whether you like it or not. The winners, they aren't the ones with the perfect strategy, and they're the ones who make the first move and adapt faster than everyone else when the rules change mid-game. So stop trying to solve the whole storm in your head. You're not Zeus. You don't control the weather. Just grab one raindrop, deal with it, then grab another. Keep going until the sky is clear, or until you realize the storm was never as big as it looked from inside your head. That's how you turn overthinking into a plan so clear you can't lose.